Hello and welcome again to our YouTube channel. In today's video from the Photoshop tips and tricks, we are going to see the magic selection way, how to make it easily, how to refine it, and how to make it fun and pro in easy and quick steps. Okay, without any further delay, let me start with our Photoshop. We have this layer of white background. Let we add another one, and we will give it a blue filling. Okay, and what about adding a third layer? We will embed an image. Okay, let me select this one. Okay, the image, you have two options. Either you can scale it directly from here, or you can trim the your workspace. Here I'm going to expand it just to fit to my workspace. It will not change the photo much. Okay, now I'll bring this one, okay, and I will hide it below the blue layer. Okay, if I'm hiding now behind the blue layer, and suppose that I need to make a round opening or round selection only for the big flower here. So if I remove this one, I can see this layer now. I need to make a round selection around this one. So I will come here to make the elliptical selection tool. Start from here. We need to start from to make the selection. I need to make a round selection. So to start to make my round selection around completely my flower, I need either I make a grid here, or I select just outside my picture around the areas that I need to make the selection around, like this, and then I can make shift to make it perfectly round, and then I release the click first, and then I click the shift. Okay, now I'm having this perfect selection, but now I need to make this cutting in the blue layer. So I had the selection here, and then I need to make the cutting in the blue layer. So I'll select the blue layer and I'll make it displaying. Okay, now the selection, regardless where I made the selection, it's available on all the layers, and any action I will make, it will be done only in the layer which I make active. Okay, so now I like to make some delete. Okay, now it's coming, deleting it completely around my image. So suppose now that I need to make something else. Here I need to add, for example, the title of our channel here, or the title of our group. So I'm coming to select it from here. Okay, I'm going to insert it here. I bring it here, for example. Okay, now suppose that I need to make this selection to give it a typical white background out of this white layer that I found here. So I can learn you a small tip. I'll come here and make this magic selection tool, or the object selection tool. I like to call it the magic because it's really doing magic. And I'm going to make the selection like this one. Okay, now the algorithms are working to make me the selection. You can see that it didn't select the complete words. I can repeat the selection again. For example, I can add here to add a layer, because you can see this plus at the selection arrow, so it's working the algorithms again. It improves the selection, but not this is what I want. That's a very important trick I'd like to show you. Now I'm going to remove or hide this layer. I'm going to hide this layer, this blue layer. I'm going to leave only this white layer, and I'm going to cancel the selection, Control D. Now I'm going to make again the magic selection. You can see now it is coming perfect, because the algorithms are not distracted by anything from the background layers. That's very important trick that you know when you are making your selections. Okay, after that I can return all the layers I like. Now I am having this selection, and I'm standing on the writing layer. So I'm going to bring this layer to life again, and this layer to life again. Okay, now suppose that I need to make the cutting of these letters on this layer, for example. Okay, so I need to stop on the blue layer. Okay, and simply I make delete. Okay, now it is these letters are engraved on the blue layer, or cut from the blue layer. If I make Control D and I return to my letters again, I select them and I move. You can find now that my cutting is coming in the blue layer, but because this flowers layer is coming behind, you can see that it is coming in this layer. So I can make the cutting again in this layer. So if I stand here, okay, and I repeat the process again, I need to cover these ones, okay, and I need to make the selection again. Now you can see it's perfectly selected. I'll be selecting the flowers layer, okay, and I make delete. It cannot delete directly. I need to rasterize the layer. So okay, usually we need to remember this step. So I rasterize my layer, okay, and then I make delete. So these letters now are cut in the image layer. So if I return again my blue layer where I cut it before, and then I select this one, okay, and I control D to deselect. I select the title again, and I need it to move it up again. You can see that now it is cut in the colored layer, okay. Of course, this you can make this. I need to show a very nice trick. If I come now to this layer, okay, and I moved it up, you can see that the cutting which I had made is coming up, 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 up. You see now it's coming perfectly as a one line here. Okay, you can see it's coming. Now you can, after that you can extend it. It's not a problem at all. Of course, I can come and make a rectangular selection here, and I make like this one. Okay, it's in the blue layer, and I'm selecting the filling blue. Okay, now it's done. Okay, and you have now your selection is cutting between these two layers. Okay, Control D to deselect, and then I can move this layer again if you like. Okay, you can see that you can make some effects with the shadows from the cuttings between the layers to bring back some of the background of the flowers. Then you can move this layer on top of it like this one. Okay, now you see how to make, when you have different layers, you can make this effect. Also, all time you can shade this. You can make shading for this one. I'll show you also a new trick. Let me go to this file, for example. I will come file in example. Okay, I'll selecting example 53. I'll be selecting this image. Place embed. Now this time I'll do something different. I will not cut. I will not expand the layer. I need to keep it as it is, and I will make this selection. Okay, I'm on the layer, and then I will come to image, trim. I will trim transparent pixels. I need to trim it from the left and right. It's very important to know where are you making your selection. If you make it, for example, from the bottom, it will not trim anything because you don't have transparent pixels in the bottom. So I make it okay. Now my image size or my canvas size is coming to the size of the image I had entered. Now if I come again to this trick, and I need to select the flower in the middle, you can see apparently it's making something. We can say that it's a perfect selection. Okay, if you need to subtract something, you can make something like that. It's subtracting, and you can select here, for example, if you see this one does not belong to the area, so you are making it better. I make it again here, the selection, the cutting. So now it looks as if it is perfect, the selection. Okay, now I can come and make a new layer, new layer via copy. Okay, now I had moved my selection to a new layer, which is this one, and I'm having this flower. But you can see here that the edges of the flower are not perfect ones. Okay, so I'll show you another trick. I'll come back, I'll hide this one, and I'll come back to my image. Okay, and I'll redo again the selection. I'll go to the correct layer. Okay, and then I'll make shift and then come to select, and then I'm having select and mask. Okay, select this mark opens the old refine edge tool. So to see how it's working, I prefer to repeat, but I need to make a little bit zoom so you can see it. So Control Alt plus. Okay, let me make it on my. Okay, now it's the view is better. Now we repeat it again. So Shift, then Layer, and I need to not Layer, sorry. Shift, select and mask. It will open the refine edge tool. Now I make smart radius for it, and I increase it. This smart radius for the edge detection. Now it detects the edge. You can see now it had detected the edge. What it will do with this edge, I need to make it smooth. So I'm increasing the smoothness. You can see now the smoothness of the edges are coming here, here, and here. It's coming the smoothness. I can make this one manual selection if you like. If I click here, you see that it's increasing it based on my manual selection. Okay, I can this one to add, I can this one to delete. For example, I need to delete this area. Okay, or I can make. You have a lot of options here to select. For example, you can decrease the radius to increase the hue on the edges. Okay, for example, I keep it to 2. I like the 2. 2 to 3 pixels are just fine. Okay, and then I like to increase the contrast of the selection. Okay, let me make it 50%. Okay, and the smoothness you can increase or decrease it. So you can see now how it's coming, the picture of the flower as perfectly selected. So I'll make OK. Okay, now that's how is our new selection. And that then I'll make layer, new layer via copy. Okay, we will remove this one. That's the layer where I made the refining for the selection for the edges, and this layer is the one which I make it with the magic selection. You can see how rough it is at the edges. Okay, I hope you learned a nice tip and trick. Please join, subscribe, like our videos, and share the information. Thank you very much for following so far.